Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here, playing Hearts of Iron 4 with Third Reich events installed. We are about ready to get the 4-year plan, national focus done. See, it now says 4-year plan. Isn't that spiffy? And you notice you can't research this because you're you have to wait until sometime in 37 to research that, so you might as well come over here. And also, you may have noticed you didn't get a bunch of new factories. Why? Because in actuality the 4-year plan historically hasn't started yet. And it will soon. So if you research a bunch of other, I guess that's what you can call it, or focus on other national focuses, you'll delay the 4-year plan if you don't do it early. But by doing it, having it happen a little earlier, you get you do get the bonus for a construction tech from it, but that's it in the game. If you wondered, yes, I have played 1936 in Hearts of Iron 3 and now in Hearts of Iron 4 innumerable times. I have no idea how much I've played 1936, almost to the point that I get very tired of playing 1936. I'm often testing things, seeing how it's going. I think I'm going to shrink that one down a little bit. It's very hard to find some sort of symbol that has associated with the West Wall. Very hard. I found one, but it's very hard. Okay, the 4-year plan talks a bit about this. Okay, now here, which we will see if it adds it right, because these are currently 4. Should have gone down by 1, but I'm going to look into that. I thought I could add a negative number. There isn't a remove option, and if the add a negative number can't be got to work, I'm going to hopefully push them so they can do a remove. Because what I want you to do is, the 4-year plan was a significant work to increase not just factories, but resources developed locally. So they were making new mines, expanding current mining. There was one, I think, I don't know, maybe bauxite or some other sort of similar type open pit mine that the German High Command wanted to do. I say High Command, well, 4-year plan people or whatever, but not the military necessarily. But no commercial company was interested in it because it was not so much bad quality, but very low concentration of the stuff, so you got to have a lot of other stuff to sort out it, so you could almost make it work profitably, but not, or maybe just barely work profitably. But it was more or less cheaper to import the stuff, so they couldn't get anybody to do it. So they, part of the 4-year plan, and you'll see the sort of government-owned company called Reich, Hermann Göring, opens up the mine and does it. And I don't know whether they run it as a profitable enterprise or not. Obviously things get bloated when the government does it, but they wanted a domestic source for this important raw material that on the international market it was cheaper to import somewhere else. So here, okay, now I want to see, you have to, no, these are still just 4, so I've got to look at chromium. Maybe something wrong with my code somewhere. Okay, and now Schneck must go. Now these don't change dynamically, they change next time you open them. I mean, it actually, I do believe, changes. But so he's gone, and now you see he's grayed out. I wish I could just have him go disappear. But you now have it's a 4-year plan. That's more of a symbol of the Reich Hermann Göring, I would say, than the 4-year plan, but also one of the closest symbols I could get. And so now you have these various bonuses of running the 4-year plan. And so you don't get to double up with him because he, Schneck was a, I'm not saying any sort of super great economist, but a rather good one. And he understood, and he really wanted, and he had been working for many years to make Germany a stronger nation by building up its economy and doing it rather effectively. It was contrary to the policies of the Nazis. He was somewhat of a supporter of Nazis, but not a core sort of Nazi kind of guy. They wanted to do it more in a command economy style, somewhat Keynesian, to build up the German economy artificially. And the policies, you can't follow both policies. You can't do Schneck's and do the 4-year plan policies because they're diametrically opposed. Schneck wanted to do good economic measures to build a dynamic going economy. Göring and crew just wanted to expand armament production and expand various factory productions without paying for them properly, which makes your money less and less worth less and less. Okay, so I'm gonna keep stomping these damn things. So now I have this. Now we're gonna do the Treaty of USSR. I'm working to get to the research slot. But you notice now we that's a little earlier than I thought it should be. I'm going to go in and look at that. So, but also just so that you know, if you do this, it gives you 1 construction bonus. Doesn't give you any sooner bonuses now, so it's also, you don't want to push on that too fast. Now, I think we're going to do BF-110. Maybe you should research that under Messerschmitt, because I like that better. And that's maybe what I should have done is one of the modify government, convert that over to Messerschmitt. Mechanical computing. And we've got improved excavation. And we're going to change this over. Yes. And we're going to build some more. civil factories. Treaty with the USSR, and they've accepted. Good. Now we're going to come back over here and do this for your plan. Continuation. Still some minor things to work out here, and especially that. Thought I could reduce it by 1. Also didn't add back, didn't increase them. I wonder if it's just a display question. Because when I've added them, it didn't go over it. Maybe it did. It just didn't display it well. Okay, well now we have that, so we will continue. Now that we have the treaty with the Soviets, we're going to get Rommel. So expect, I don't know, 4 or 5 times as many events in 1936 as you saw, because there's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, that's with burning concern is the what do they call it? Encyclical here of Catholic Church by Pope Pius against the Nazis. And it was mainly had an effect in southern Germany, which was the Catholic parts, but you get a national unity hit here. We're at 83 here, and we have that. Let's do air innovations. So you can see here we have some, and this is part of the, well, some of the theories here. This is a 5% factory, civilian factory construction deficit. This is a 10% bonus, so you're getting a 5% bonus overall from having the 4-year plan in action here. The 4-year plan affects, oh, this is, did I mention it in the earlier episode? If you go to war before the 4-year plan is up, you'll lose the benefits of the 4-year plan. So if you go to war, this is one of the things I was talking about in the previous episode, the way Third Reich Events is designed. Let's build some light cruisers. If it's designed so that if you go off the history path, you can, it's fine. It's made to be able to, but you're going down on historical things, so you will lose, if you go to war for any reason, you'll lose the 4-year plan and you won't get the benefits from it. You won't get it back. Okay, we're now firmly in 37, so let's Nazis going. So we have an open slot here. Like I say, I'm going to do some of these. There, this doesn't really help us, but we're just putting tote in there. He has a black uniform. I told them it's a brown uniform. It's not black. Told them long ago. The photo makes it look, and I know the photo they took it from, the black and white photo. It makes the uniform look black, but it's really brown. And one of the ways you can tell that, one, I know he never wore an SS uniform. He was a member, because what that is what sort of becomes the organization tote uniform. But it's he was a member of the SA, so that's his SA uniform. And he was also sometimes pictured in his Luftwaffe uniform. He was also not very active, but didn't fly combat missions or command really Luftwaffe units, but he was a Luftwaffe officer as well. So I know he wasn't in black. And the photo that is in question, you see his armband, his red Nazi armband, and the red Nazi armband is clearly darker than the apparently black uniform that he's wearing. Well, red doesn't show up as darker than black in a black and white photo, but red will show up as darker than a SA brown. So it's just lighting tricks and whatever. Okay. Well, Antonio de Oliveira Salazar, the basic dictator of Portugal, didn't like the Nazis. This is sort of the cover of the book later on. It's As a State Arises in English. It is basically a diatribe book that he had published against the Nuremberg laws. His Nuevo Stat, or whatever, I forget, political party was a pseudo-fascist party, definitely a right-wing viewpoint, but he was not any, and I say pseudo-fascist, maybe a bit more fascist than nationalist, but definitely not as sort of centralized state as Italy, but he was very much not a Nazi, and when you, as a prime minister or whatever of a country, but near dictator, write a book against the Nuremberg laws and get it published, shows that you're rather not a Nazi, especially doing this in 1937. So we lose some political power, which I take that to mean here, losing international political influence, because you can be using, though I'm not currently, your political power to influence other nations. So that's how it hurts us a little bit. Don't worry, there will also be a lot of events which are not yet included that give benefits of, well, obviously we have the 4-year plan, but there will be a lot of other ones that give minor benefits as well. And part of the reason some of these events are showing up here now is because I'm trying to reorganize things with Third Reich events. The original mod for Black Ice was a very organic growing thing. Now I'm taking it and doing like I put all the sort of, if you will, Jewish resistance type events in one section, you know, so that they're, you know, going down, not necessarily like in historical order, but all in one section. And so that's why you're seeing those all now. And I did, and not all that I'm going to do, I'm going to add a few more, but I did at least some of the essential 4-year plan events to go to make up for taking out the most of the benefits you get from the national focus. But I did put all of the Winter Olympic events all there, so that's sort of why what you're seeing some of the stuff here. So, and now here you get okay, which we should be getting a bunch more resources here. So I don't know if it's just not displaying it a little more, because they also got a little more oil coming out of Hanover. Let's see if any of this works. Now the factories, Hanover, let's look at Hanover. Currently they have 2 civilian factories. We got the 2 more, so that worked. Okay, and it went up to 5 oil. Erfurt here did not, Thuringen here in Erfurt didn't get these expanded, so could be some problem in the code that I just need to go in and look at. And since I very much have a tendency to copy and paste, hopefully to not have problems and, you know, somehow mistyping something in. So once I misspelled the word or somewhere in it, or left out a bracket, it gets left out. Though none of this has showed up as being a, so I did run this originally on a debug mode. None of this has showed up as being bugged. So I don't know if there's a, I don't think there's a bracket missing. But went through everything. So, but probably some error got in there and again got spread to a bunch of other stuff. So I'll have to go see what that is. Fix it. Okay. Now we'll get that benefit. So we've let's see, we're gonna get the, and so the second event that talks about Reichswerk Hermann Göring, it wasn't owned by Hermann Göring, but I'm rather sure he got a rake off from a lot of the profits from the, it was a company owned by the German state. But I'm sure he got, because particularly Göring was fairly corrupt and was able to skim off a lot of money from different sources. Well, let's expand our military production some. Yes, I'm building here in the east to sort of build away from bombers, hopefully. This also, as you see, 4% improvement to military factories and dockyard production, as well as refineries improved. Okay, rockets. Now the extra research slot. Well, the Nationals look like they've won there. No, it's sort of like IG Farben get better, because although this does industrial construction, which we've done a fair amount of research through. Some of this takes a lot of time in here to get through. We're going to convert over from Krupp to IG Farben, but it also still does a 5% bonus to industrial research time instead of 10%, but it's 10%. So on balance, I think it's a little better. I just know that some of the factors are coming up pretty quick. Okay, can't see it very well, but a poster advertising take pleasant trips to Germany, but if you notice, which you can barely see here, where it's clipped off, it's in English, so it's whether for Britain or for the United States or wherever. And something produced during the time period, but it's produced for overseas market, not domestic market. Now, I don't know what this research. I'm talking and thinking about things. Where before I gave Germany a little bit of money that represented, Germany had a really big problem with foreign exchange, because we talked about Schneck going away and Goering sort of running the economy. Schneck did stay in charge of the bank, one of the national banks, I think, but basically nobody really wanted to take German currency outside of Germany. So no, not just yet. We'll wait till 38 to do that. People didn't want German currency because it was Germany was printing as much as they needed. Now, they were smart enough to keep local internal inflation from happening. They didn't overdo it in that sense, but it got to where there weren't people really wanting to buy enough stuff that was German or Germany was selling. So, you know, government had enough money to buy as much as it wanted to internally, but if it needed resources or other things imported, it couldn't get them. Okay, well now we have this benefit here. You know, it had trouble getting it. So tourism, that people coming in, bringing French francs, British pounds, US dollars, and exchanging them for local currency was definitely a way Germany used to get foreign currency, and it limited how much Germans could in essence take out. So, oh, you're going to the Netherlands for, you know, the weekend, and you need some guilders or whatever it was at the time. They would say, oh, well, you could exchange, I don't know, 100 Reichsmarks or whatever it was, I don't know, you know, for the weekend, because that's what you claim you're going out, and that should cover your holiday. So fine, have at it. But they didn't want you taking out 1,000 Reichsmarks or 10,000 Reichsmarks and changing them to guilders. So they were definitely restricting your ability to do that. So they, you know, they're definitely actually encouraging like a lot of bicycling holidays and other things, which you can sort of put as a sinister motive. They're, you know, yes, go on holidays around Europe and check it out and learn where all the bridges and, you know, everything is, so when we invade later on, you'll know how to do it. And I actually believe that there was some of that to all of this. But whether there was or there wasn't, they definitely limited how much money you could take out. But many foreign tourists wanted to do it. But you could, if you overdid too much, not your pocket change or whatever, if you will, or, you know, going back out, but if you bought too many Reichsmarks, they weren't going to let you exchange them back for your currency. Yes, we'll withdraw. Italy now to the claims on Yugoslavia. And we have more here. Let's put in production our anti-tank guns. Yeah, I think something crept in an error. I just copied and pasted to the next one, and it's still there. Okay, we researched our oil plant, our synthetic oil plants. Well, we're going to end the episode here. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. Please post questions, comments, suggestions. Love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.